004. Not many players came from Europe and did as well as he did in basketball. He won a championship with LeBron James, and he got lots of money from the LA Lakers. But just as fast as he got really good in the NBA, that's how fast he got really bad too. After getting all that money, we started to see him play less and less until now he's not even in the NBA anymore. 028 in this video. We're going to talk about what made this European success story actually become a victim of the modern NBA, how his career fell apart so fast, and where Mozgov is now. We're trying to get 64 likes for the millions he got from the Lakers. And if you do like this video, please subscribe, because we're trying to grow this channel and make really good NBA videos for all of us who love the NBA. 054, it all started for Timofey Mozgov when he became a pro player in his home country, Russia, when he was 18 years old. After a while, he joined a team called Khimki Moscow and became a really good player in the Russian basketball league. What really made him famous around the world was a tournament in 2009 called Euro, where Mozgov got 11 points and 4.6 rebounds every game. 116 after that. NBA scouts really wanted him. And the New York Knicks were able to sign 24-year-old. In 2010, he signed a 3-year deal for $9.7 million. He sat on the bench for most of his first year there under coach Mike D'Antoni. But when he finally got to play a lot, he did really well. 135. You don't need good video to see how much the fans at Madison Square Garden loved Mozgov. Crowd Mozgov. Announcer, and now the fans are chanting Mozgov. Laughs. They chanted his name after he got 23 points and 10 rebounds in one game. Mozgov kept getting better so much that he became one of the main pieces in trade that would change both the Denver Nuggets and New York Knicks forever. 159 in 2011. He was one of the players traded to get Carmelo Anthony. Mozgov kept getting better when he went to Denver. He was really good at playing close to the basket. He was a strong center who could score well near the hoop. The best game he had as a Nugget was against the Golden State Warriors when Mozgov got 23 points and 29 rebounds, which are still his best numbers ever. 222, a lot of rebounds just came to me. You know, some nights it's like that, so it's just a good night. He kept doing well playing for his country, too. In 2012, Mozgov won a bronze medal at the Summer Olympics with Russia. It's something amazing. You know, this is a bronze medal. It's unbelievable. And when he was 29 years old, his career was about to get even better. 242, he was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers to play alongside LeBron James as the main center when LeBron came back to Cleveland. Narrator, other teams get scared when they see Mozgov in his winter hat. Mozgov yelling. It turns out that team was ready to go to the finals. And in 2015, Mozgov was a really important player. 302, he was so important that he started all 6 games for the Cavaliers, but they lost to the Golden State Warriors. But just making it to the finals was a huge deal because Mozgov became the first Russian player ever to play in an NBA Finals. At this time, Mozgov really was known by every single basketball fan in the whole world. 323. Everyone knew who Timofey Mozgov was. And even though his best moment was coming in 2016, winning a championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers, you could start to see problems in his NBA career. Instead of starting every game like he did the year before, when they lost in the finals to the Golden State Warriors, in 2016, he came off the bench. 345, actually. He only played 6 minutes per game in the finals. The reason for this was that NBA centers were changing. Just the year before, we saw the Golden State Warriors play with their small ball death lineup. Draymond Green played center, and more young guys were getting drafted who brought a new style of center to the NBA. 407 guys like Karl Anthony Towns, Kristaps, Porzingis, Joel, Embiid were not those tough guys who played close to the basket like the old style centers in the NBA anymore. They were guys who could move around the court and really shoot well. Still though, Mozgov became the first Russian to ever win an NBA championship along with a teammate on the Cavs who was also from Russia. For 27, we got 2016 champion, Mother Russia. Mother Russia, boy. And after that, as a free agent, he signed a $64 million 4-year deal with the LA Lakers. While things couldn't get much better for Timofey Mozgov, his place in history, his legacy in basketball, especially for Russian or European players, and his bank account, everyone else was shocked. For 52, his signing with the LA Lakers in the summer of 2016 was one of the most hated signings, not just in the NBA that summer, but in NBA history. Because it was clear at the time that the NBA was starting to change at the center position to everyone except for, apparently, Jim Buss, who was running basketball operations for the Lakers at the time, and GM Mitch Kupchak, 5'17", and couldn't see what was happening to the NBA by signing Timofey Mozgov to be his starting center. He only got 7.4 points per game, a little under 5 rebounds, and under 1 block in that first year. It turned out, yes, he was a slow, heavy center in a new fast NBA. He couldn't guard different positions, which more and more good teams were starting to do all the time, like the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. And Mozgov was getting left behind. 546, the numbers showed it to. The year before he signed with LA, he was 98th in pace. That made him the 205th slowest player in the NBA. And if you're thinking, well, being slow might just be because he plays center. Think about this. He was 75th out of 76 centers in real plus minus and had a below average player rating after knee surgery in the offseason 6'10", and that knee started to also be a big part of why Timofey Mozgov got worse. 54 games into that first year with the Lakers, he got benched. La wanted to see what they had in their young center, Ivica Zubac. While that started the end of his time with the Lakers, it was the beginning of something we started to see with Mozgov. 629, he would use the media to talk about how unhappy he was. After getting benched, he said, quote, "The coach told me about it before the game. It was a big surprise for me. Honestly, it was a surprise to everyone, even Coach Walton. I still don't know what made the management make such a decision. I did not try to find out the details. They don't want to put me in. So I don't want to also." 651, eventually the Lakers said they made a mistake and got rid of him, trading him to the Brooklyn Nets. But to get the Nets to take that huge Mozgov contract, they had to also give them D'Angelo Russell, which at the time didn't seem like that big of a deal, but turned out to be a huge deal because Russell became an all-star level point guard who can lead a team. 713. Mozgov's short time with the Brooklyn Nets was exactly the same as what happened to him with the Lakers. He started the year as their main center around a young team, but got benched in the middle of the season. At the time, though, again, Mozgov couldn't seem to understand what was happening to him in his NBA career. 732, he told the media, the breaking point came quite unexpectedly. The coach just said, "This is the situation we have." There were no slow changes, just like this, bang. So, according to Mozgov, it just came as a surprise out of nowhere. But the truth was that Mozgov could not really improve his game. 751, the Nets. For sure, when they traded for him, had some hope that maybe he could become like Brook Lopez. Lopez left for LA in that trade to get Mozgov and D'Angelo Russell, but while he was with the Nets, he really changed from an old-school NBA center to a modern guy who could really shoot well, especially from three-point range. 8-11. We've seen Lopez keep doing that with the Milwaukee Bucks, but Mozgov could not change his game to a Brook Lopez level, and of course he had that ongoing knee problem. The worst point for Mozgov was another trade, this time in July of 2018, for the right to Hamidou Diallo, a second-round pick, and cash money. 8:30, the very next day, he was traded to the Orlando Magic, where he never played even one game. Eventually, Mozgov had knee surgery in January of 2019, and he was cut by the Magic in July of 2019. Again, he talked to the media. This time, not to complain about his team, but to complain about team doctors. Mozgov said, quote, "I don't want to make any wrong accusations about American doctors, but their treatment of my injury was not quite right." 8:57, it seems right. Now that they had been treating me based on a wrong diagnosis, nothing terrible has happened, but the injury got worse as time went by. Mozgov was out of work for a while until eventually he went back to his home country of Russia and to the club he started with, Khimki. Moscow, 9:15. Remember that quote when he said, "Nothing terrible has happened"? It might have, because right now Mozgov has still not played one game for Khimki. Even though the Russian season is 44 games in, and this summer he wanted to play for Russia in the World Cup, but he couldn't do that either. Eventually, the truth is, not only is Mozgov's NBA career over, his pro basketball career might be over too. 9:38 one day at 33 years old. He might see that and finally announce that he's retiring. What happened to Mozgov is what happened to a lot of old school NBA centers. But of course, we don't feel too bad for Timofey Mozgov. Even though he sat on an NBA bench with his hurt knee while the NBA left him behind at the center position, because he was able to get to the league and do well before basketball changed, so he could really get paid and become an NB.